My next guest grew up locally. He went to school in Hallam. He's known to many in this region as a dance instructor. However, he has done many, many more things than that over his 30 years of dancing. Recently, he starred and was playing in Fiddler on the Roof here in Melbourne. He's now in Sydney with Fiddler on the Roof, and he's joining us online today. Darren, nice to have you with us, mate.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here too. Good on you, pal. Gee, you've got a CV that reads longer than my arm does.
Yeah, I've been very lucky, yeah.
You have indeed. Yes, you have indeed. How did the dancing come about, mate? 30 years of dancing. You must have been a little kid when you first started.
Yeah, so it's actually, 34 years of dancing. I started when I was 6.
6, were you?
My sister, my elder sister, she used to dance, and she used to pick myself and my other sister up from school when she finished high school and take us to her dance classes until my mum could pick us up from work, and I just sort of started joining in.
And that's how it all happened?
And that's how it all began.
Tell me, was your mum very encouraging to you? Did she make you practice? Did you have to do it, or something that you just wanted to do?
No, Mum and Dad have always been very supportive with all of us, whether it's sport or dance. My other sister, she was huge in sport, so yeah, as long as if we were going to do it, we had to do it well and we couldn't slack off. But, you know, the good thing about my parents, they weren't really stage parents, you know.
Yeah.
They were, you know, they'd come to all the performances and they'd pay for my classes, but, you know, if I wasn't going to put the effort in, I wasn't going to do it. So
that's the thing, isn't it? You've got to have a dedication and it is a discipline when you learn something in the art, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. When I was at my peak training, I was training 6 days a week. And because I loved it too, like I just sort of ate it up.
Well, further on from that too, you then got involved in singing, so it was really musical theatre then for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I always... I trained at a school called Helen Alcock School of Dance in Hallam, which is now TJ's Dance Studio, and Helen brought in a teacher called Anne-Marie Brazier, who was a professional dancer, and she had done musicals, and she really, I think she must have seen something in me to you know, push me a little bit further, and she said, you know, you got to get your singing up, and you got to do acting classes. So, you know, I was kind of gung-ho into doing all that. It took a while for me to get into my first show. I started auditioning when I was 16 years old and didn't get my first show till I was about 21. So
what was that then?
My first show was Showboat.
Showboat, was it? Yeah, 1998.
Yeah, very good, yes, 98. We did Sydney and Melbourne for that, and that was amazing. And then it kind of... And everyone said to me, once you get one show, then the rest will follow, and it was like it kind of just snowballed after that, which is great.
Well, looking at your bio here, you went on to Pan, Anything Goes, which I saw, Cats, seen all of these, Oliver, Saturday Night Fever. It goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, what a funny show that was. It
was a hoot, yeah. It was really good. I've been really lucky, and diverse sort of shows, you know, more contemporary shows and the older classics like Showboat and Fiddler on the Roof. So I've been very lucky, and I'm very grateful for, you know, all the work that I've done and hopefully get to do.
Darren, tell me about the audition process. When you go to audition for something like Fiddler on the Roof, what happens?
Well, I mean, auditions never get easier. Like I tell my students as well, you know, they never get easier. But you just think of it as like a dance audition. You think of it as a dance class. You're going in there, you're learning, you know, you have to try to show that you can pick up choreo quickly and copy the style of the choreographer. And it's all about being in the moment there and not letting your nerves get ahead of you. And same with you know, some musicals you have to do dance first and then sing after. And if it's like a Fiddler, it's more of because it's more of a vocal heavy show. You got to sing first. So you have to prepare a couple of songs, and then they may give you a song from the show to audition for the panel. So you'd think it gets easier over the years, but it's always a bit sort of nerve-wracking. But, you know, I'm kind of used to it now.
You become a little bit seasoned. But I suppose it's good to have a bit of nerves about us, isn't it? Even when I open the microphone here, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think if you're not nervous, you become a bit complacent.
Yes.
And you don't put your best effort in, and you know, no one wants to see a complacent performer up on stage. No,
that's right. Now, before you go on overnight, what are you doing? Are you doing any vocal exercises, any hip hop? What do you do backstage?
Yeah, well, we have to be at the theatre an hour before the show starts. And so at the hour call, we do a vocal warm-up. And depending on what sort of show it is, if it's a dance-heavy show, you'll do a physical warm-up. With Fiddler, it's not. There's choreography, but it's not too intense. So I'm the dance captain of the show, so I look after the choreography of the show. And a couple of the gentlemen in the show who play the Russians, they've got the most physical dance plot. So I leave it up to them to warm up what they think they need necessary, because everyone's body is different. And so that's what we do before a show. We've got our vocal warm-up, and then also if anyone's off and an understudy's on, we use that time to put people into various scenes that they're not used to doing. Last night I was on for someone else. I'm also a swing in the show, which means I cover all the ensemble.
Right.
So I was on for one of the ensemble, doing a different track than my normal track last night, which is always fun. And it makes it a fun, different show too when someone else goes on.
Now, to keep you on your toes, wouldn't it?
It does. It really does.
Yeah,
but this cast is really supportive. Like, I'm the only swing in the show, and there's 30 cast members, so that makes it about 22 ensemble.
You've got to cover them all of those. Yeah.
If I have to go on, they're also supportive. It's really great.
When I was reading your bio, one of the things that stood out to me was in Melbourne Tonight. Now, in Melbourne Tonight takes us back yonks. What on earth did you do on Melbourne Tonight?
Yeah, I used to tour with a illusionist called Ross Skinnington.
Yes, I know Ross. Yes.
Yeah, he really took me under his wing. It was kind of one of my first big professional gigs, touring with Ross, and we did a segment on IMT with him doing an illusion. I think we did this illusion called Origami, where he kind of folds out this box and a pretty girl gets into the box, he folds it all up, stabs knives into it and opens it up, and she comes out in a different costume, you know.
Right.
He did all the work, he did all the magic, we just tried to make it look good. But so I did that, and back in more so the 90s, I did a bit more TV, like when the variety shows were out. And that was always fun too, but we need more variety shows on television, I think.
Darren, I was going to say that to you. We don't have any. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting really tired of all these cooking shows and even the singing shows for that matter. I just think we need live variety to give people the opportunity to show their talents again. Well,
exactly. I think so. I think that's what's missing on TV. And, you know, and you had people like Frankie J. Holden and Bert Newton, all those people that used to do, Graham Kennedy back in the, the 80s and 70s, 80s and that, it was also great. So now it's just a bit formulaic for TV shows now, and it's all reality. Yeah.
When you had the midday show, Sale of the Century, what on earth did you do on Sale of the Century?
You know what? I don't know why that's on the...
Were you a model?
I was a Barney Rubble.
Oh, were you?
for a week of the showcase.
Yeah.
One of my proudest moments in the industry, Barney Rubble. There was the whole sort of Fred, Wilma, Barney, and Betty. We were all on there. Yeah.
Well, I had to ask you that, but I looked at that and I thought, now, were you a contestant? Or
no,
what were you
not
doing?
at all.
Because they used to have models too.
I was important.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, don't knock it down. No.
Yeah.
Now,
I've got to take that off the resume.
I'll cross that one off right now for you.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's happening after Fiddler on the Roof? Where do you go to from there?
Yeah, I've got a show coming up working with the same choreographer and director as Fiddler on the Roof in August, which is still a bit sort of hush-hush at the moment. But
Come on, tell me.
I'm kind of working with the choreographer on that, just helping Dana Jolly out, who's been very good for me to me over the years. She always gets me to assist her, and hopefully I'll go back to a bit of teaching. Mm-hmm. I'm adjudicating comps in the June-July holidays, and come back home and see my family and my dog.
That's back to Melbourne, yeah.
Back to Melbourne, yeah. I'm still a Hallam boy.
You're still, well, I've got to be proud of that. It's a great region, and nice to know that you...
It's really good. I actually grew up in Endeavour Hills and went to school in Hallam, and then I bought in Hallam a couple of years ago, because it is a great area. It's changed so much since when I was a kid. My
word. Well, we live out at Officer, and that place has just grown and grown and grown. It's huge now out our way.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I remember, when we first moved to Endeavour Hills when I was 6, and you used to be able to hear the cows in the morning.
Exactly.
And then now you look at it and there's like houses, and the shopping centre in Endeavour Hills got bigger, and I don't know.
Darren, the only cows you hear now are the milk bottles going into Coles.
Right, yeah.
That's about all year now. There's none left.
That's right.
So we'll look forward to that very secretive show that you're talking about. That we can't know. Is it a huge one? Is it going to come to one of the big theatres?
It'll be at the State Theatre.
Good.
There's only like 10 shows of it, but it's got a big car.
So that's the production company you're doing.
It is the production company.
Thank you. Yeah, I was talking to the guys here last week about that. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. So they're always fun to do, but they're mad to do as well because you've got such a short time to rehearse the show up and get it happening. But
well, Ken Mackenzie Forbes does a fantastic job with all of that. He's wonderful.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
He's a lovely man too.
Yes, he is. A top-class guy. Well, I'll see you at that show anyway. We'll be down to see all of those. I appreciate your time today, Darren. I just thought it'd be nice to catch up and touch base with you, having known you through my granddaughter. And
please say hello to her.
Yes, I will say that.
For tapping up.
Yeah, well, I told her we're going to be broadcasting this today, and she's going to listen online tonight because I do put it on Facebook later on, and it goes onto my Showbiz with Leigh Drew site as well. So she's working at the moment, so she'll hear this later on today. Darren, I do wish you well, mate, and everything that comes your way. It's great to catch up, and anything that I can help you with publicity-wise in the future, please let us know.
Oh, thank you so much for your time.
Nice to chat to you.
See you, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye now. There he is. That's Darren Tyler, a local young man made good.